Welcome back to Slumberland Whispers. So this should be a really nice, relaxing story time for you, or bedtime story for relaxation. So, as requested, someone asked me to read some chapters of the Faraway Tree. So I'll read you a blurb so you kind of get the picture as to what we're reading. So this is a children's book. It's like my favourite all-time children's book, okay? So this is the Faraway Tree collection and we're going to be reading The Enchanted Wood. It says, join Joe, Bessie and Fanny on their adventures in the Enchanted Wood, where the children visit the land of birthdays, the land of topsy-turvy, and the other amazing places at the top of the Faraway Tree. So let's open this up. So this is a book from Enid Blyton. This is going to be chapter 1 that we're reading to you today. How they found the magic wood. There were once 3 children called Joe, Bessie and Fanny. All their lives they had lived in a town, but now the father had a job in the country, so they were all to move as soon as they could. What fun it would be in the country, said Joe. I shall learn all about animals and birds. And I shall pick as many flowers as I want to, said Bessie. And I should have a garden of my own, said Fanny. When the day came for all the children to move, all the children were excited. A small van came to the door and 2 men helped the father and mother to pile everything into it. When it was full, the van drove away and the children put on their coats and hats to go with their father and mother to catch a train at the station. Now we're off, cried Joe. The country, sang Bessie. We might see fairies there, said Fanny. The train whistled and chuffed out of the station. The children pressed their noses onto the window and watched the dirty houses and the tall chimneys race by. How they hated the town. How lovely it will be in the clean country, with flowers growing everywhere and birds singing in the hedges. We might have adventures in the country, said Joe. There may be streams and hillsides, big fields and dark woods. Oh, it will be lovely. So that's them there. In their new home. You won't have any more adventures in the country than you will have in a town, said the father. I dare say you'll find it all very dull. But that's where he was quite wrong, my goodness, the things that happened to those 3 children. They arrived at last at a tiny station where they were to get out. A sleepy looking porter put their 2 bags on the barrow and said he would bring them along later. Off they went, down the windy country lane, chattering loudly. I wonder what our cottage will be like, said Bessie, and I wonder if we've got a garden, said Fanny. But long before they reached their new home, they were tired out and could not bother to say a word more to each other. Their cottage was 5 miles from the station, and the children's father could not afford to do anything but walk there. It seemed a very long way indeed. There was no bus to take them, so the tired children dragged their feet along, wishing for a cup of milk and a cosy bed. At last they got there, and dear me, it was worth all the walk, for the cottage was sweet. Roses hung from the walls, red, white and pink. And honeysuckle was all around the front door. It was lovely. The van was at the door and the 2 men were moving all of the furniture into the little house. Father helped while Mother went to light the kitchen fire and make them all a hot drink. They were so tired that they could not do anything but drink hot milk, eat a few biscuits and tumble into the roughly made beds. Joe looked out of the window, but he was too tired to see properly. In 1 minute, the 2 girls in the small room were asleep, and Joe too, even in his tiny room. What fun it was to wake up in the morning and see the sun shining in all the strange windows. It didn't take Joe, Bessie and Fanny very long to dress. They were out in a little garden, running through the grass that had grown so long, smelling all the roses that grew around. Mother cooked eggs for them and they ate their breakfast hungrily. It was lovely to be in the country, said Joe, looking out of the window in the faraway hills. We can grow vegetables in the garden, said Bessie. There'll be glorious walks all around, said Fanny. That day everyone helped to get the little house straight and tidy. Father was going to work the next day, and Mother was hoping there would be someone to give her washing to do. Then she would make enough money to buy a few hens. That would be lovely. I shall collect the eggs every morning and evening, said Fanny happily. Let's go outside and see what the country around about is like, said Joe. Can you spare us for an hour, Mother? Yes, run along, said Mother. So off the three children went, out to the tiny white front gate and into the gut lane. They explored all around. They ran across a field where pink clover was full of bees. They paddled in a small brown stream that chattered away to itself under the willow trees in the sunshine. And then they suddenly came to a wood. It was not far from their cottage at the back. It looked quite an ordinary wood, except the trees were a darker green than usual. A narrow ditch separated the wood from the overgrown lane. A wood, said Bessie in delight. We shall be able to have picnics there. It's rather a mysterious sort of wood, said Joe thoughtfully. Don't you think so, Bessie? Oh, the trees are rather thick, but they seem about the same as any others, said Bessie. They don't quite, said Fanny. The noise the leaves make is different. Listen. They listened, and Fanny was right. The leaves of the trees in the wood didn't rustle in quite the same way as the other trees nearby did. It was almost as if they were really talking to one another, said Bessie, whispering secrets, real secrets that no one can understand. It's a magic wood, said Fanny suddenly. Nobody said anything. They stood and listened. Whisher, 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 said the trees in the wood, and bent towards one another in a friendly way. There might be fairy folk in there, said Bessie. Now we jump over the ditch and go in. No, said Joe, we might get lost. Let's find our way around before we go into the big woods like this. Joe, Bessie, Fanny. Suddenly came their mother's voice from the cottage not far off. Tea time, tea time. The children felt hungry all at once. They forgot the queer route and went back into their new home. Mother had a new bread with strawberry jam for them, and they ate a whole loaf between them. Father came in as they were finishing. He had been shopping for Mother in the village 3 miles away, and he was hungry and very tired. We've been exploring everywhere, Father, said Bessie, pouring him a big cup of tea. We've found a lovely wood, said Fanny. It's a queer sort of wood, said Joe. The trees really seem to talk to one another, Father. That must be the wood I've heard about this afternoon, said Father. It has a strange name, children. What's it called? Asked Joe. It's called the Enchanted Wood. The father said, people don't go there if they can help it. It's funny to hear things like this nowadays, and I don't expect there really is anything very queer about the wood. But just be careful not to go too far into it in case you get lost. The children looked in excitement at one another. The Enchanted Wood, what a lovely name. And each child secretly thought the same thought. I should go and explore the Enchanted Wood as soon as I ever can. Their father set them to work in an overgrown garden after tea. Joe had to pull up all the tough thistles, and the two girls had to weed the untidy vegetable patch. They spoke to one another in joyful voices. The Enchanted Wood. We knew there was something queer about it. I guess there were fairies there, said Fanny. We'll do some more exploring as soon as we can, cried Bessie. We'll find out about those whispering trees, what they were saying. We'll know all the secrets of the wood before many weeks have passed. And that night at bedtime, all three stood out the window looking at the dark, whispering woods behind the cottage. What would they find in the Enchanted Wood? So that was a little taster as to the Faraway Tree, the Enchanted Wood by Enid Blyton. I'm definitely going to read more of these. I didn't have too much time today, but I hope you found this relaxing nevertheless. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Let me know if you want me to read more. I say let me know, I will read more. Take care now, guys.